chini madaktari. Madaktari power. Madaktari power. Madaktari power. Madaktari power. Tuketi chini madaktari. Tuketi chini tafadhali. Tuketi chini. We want to tell them, as doctors, we are so safe. We are very safe. So they should not fear anything. Madaktari power. The program continues, eh?
Semeni we. What tribe are we? What tribe are we? What tribe are we?
44th
What tribe are we?
44th
Who are we?
Kenya.
I want to take this opportunity to invite our honorary chairperson, Dr. Jackie Kitulu. She's the president of the Kenya Medical Association. Dr. Jackie Kitulu. DJ. Daktari analetwa, ako na bodyguard. Mimi ndio tupatie mziki.
Nidhitima, ikibamba sana sema dhitima. Nidhitima, ikibamba sana sema dhitima. Nidhitima, ikibamba sana sema dhitima. Musa kagawanisha mali. Ndio kapita katikati. Sifanani wakafuata nyuma. Akijaki ya tabasika. Simungu ni wajao. Tuwa Israeli wapite. Walipomaliza kupita, Farao walisikia kama kumbuka Sodoma Gomora. Ilikuwa imejawa dhambi. Simungu kawaambia tubu. Si wakadhani ni mchezo. Mungu katumania Lot. Kamwambia toke huko upesi. Hata hapa amefika mahali Sodoma walisikia kama
Dr. Kitulu, leta makofi ya Dr. Kitulu. Amkeni, let's welcome our chair. Let's welcome our chair. Tuamke. President. Wapi makofi ya Karibu sana. Dr. Kitulu is the president for the Kenya Medical Association. Honorable Raila, this is our president. She's our spokesperson today. Thank you. Karibu daktari.
Dr. Power. Dr. Power. I am very humbled to be standing in front of all these doctors. I didn't know that this was my constitution. The first thing I would like to say is I would like to thank God that wisdom and reason has prevailed today. This has been a real turning point in my life. My journey with looking at this whole picture right from the beginning of, when the strike was called, we have been following as the Kenya Medical Association. But I want to relate it to myself because there are people who are here today who I bow down to. And those are the doctors in the public sector. I last worked in the public sector 18 years ago. And for me, my turning point was coming from a ward as an intern in pediatrics in Kenyatta, up the road. And that night, my ward had been admitting. That ward, which should have 40 patients and had like about 120, I was the only intern. I think nowadays there are a few more doctors, huh? They there's still a shortage because the population has grown. It's not static. But I came from that ward. I had seen patients during the day. I admitted, I don't know, over 50 patients overnight. And there's one particular patient there who I've never forgotten. A child who had been in that ward previously, a malnourished child who had done very well. And this was 2 months late, about maybe a month later, the child came back and had aspirated some herbal concoction given at home. So as I tried to resuscitate this child needed a ventilator. I called ICU, there was no bed. I'm the only doctor there. There are patients coming in, there are lines that need to be set, there are so many things that need to be done. I bagged that child and bagged that child. How many of you have bagged for an hour? So I bagged that child. I kept on calling ICU. They told me there is nowhere to put that child. Then I got nurses to help. There were like 2 nurses on the call. I said, you bag that child as well. Eventually, that child died. That child died because there was no room for them. There were not enough of us to help. There was no room for that child to be taken into ICU. So that child I put aside and continued with the others, continued the next day, did the LPs, drew blood, did the summaries, and left that ward at 3 p.m. having worked the whole day the day before, the night, and this was at 3 p.m. And I got to the car park there, and I found my car had a flat. And I just sat on the pavement. I said, I can't do this anymore. So when I finished my internship, I took the easier way out. I'm not saying working the private sector is easy anyway, but it was an easier way out. So I bow down to the doctors who remain in those difficult conditions, but remain. So that is where this whole issue took me back to. And on the day the CBA7 were thrown into jail, I have never felt so much pain. For those, I think about 10 years ago, I was interviewed from some magazine, and someone asked me, what is your greatest fear? Do you know what my greatest fear is? It is jail. That is my personal fear. So as I looked and I saw Daisy, I saw Evelyn, I saw Luke, I saw them being put in that truck, I said, this is unbelievable. The day when a doctor, a person who holds people's lives in their hands, because at this point, if anybody collapsed here, are you not going to come up and resuscitate them? You will. But that same doctor to be thrown into prison, I said, that is greatly, greatly a disservice to our nation. And then the doctors are meeting and having a vigil quietly, and they are dispersed by GSU. I said, So as the Kenya Medical Association, all the way through this, right from the beginning, we have interacted very intricately with your team. I think Dr. Mogeni is right here, he can attest to it, until a point where he said he stopped sending me messages because he thought I am too optimistic. And every message you give me would not be on the, a positive message. But I think we have worked very closely trying to bring this issue to be settled. Because the CBA is what settles the ills that have been there all the way from that first strike in 1971. So this CBA is that final solution. So yesterday, the KMA and all the other specialty associations, so we said we need to come together. This is all about us. And we came together yesterday and released a statement with very powerful resolutions. We said, number one, if the doctors are not out, there shall be no negotiations. Number two, we said that we asked that Court of Appeal to release those doctors. Because if they are the parties that can negotiate, then putting them in essentially means there shall be no negotiations. So I want to thank the Court of Appeal today, the presiding judge, for that Solomonic wisdom, asking those parties, come on, can you people agree? We have seen what's going on. Can you agree to agree? So we want to thank that court for releasing our CBA7. So further to that, we said, so what is happening? The public sector has been closed. The more than 5,000 doctors are not practicing, are not at work, but there are others who continue to get a service. So we said then what? That the private facilities, we ask all our members everywhere, whether it's in academia, in private facilities, for the next 48 hours to down their tools. And I want to thank all those from the private facilities who are here today. Where are you? Thank you very much for standing in solidarity. We are together. So where do we go from here? There's been divisions that we are young and old doctors. I don't think there's such a division. It is a progression. It is a process of maturity, and you can't have one stage without another. So you need to have young doctors, you need to have older doctors. And the younger ones come in with new ideas and vibrance. Hence a vibrant activity like this. So we are not going to be divided along those lines. We are a one team. We are the doctors. We are here for the, I think we took a vow this morning. We said our vow. It is about our patients, and we are going to protect those patients. So as we go from here, we said yesterday that yes, until those doctors are out, there shall be no talks. Our doctors are out. So the goodwill on our part is that we say they're out, we shall engage in those talks, so that we can get that CBA. That is the solution. The mission is not to be on strike. The strike was so that that CBA could be acquired. And I think there has been a lot of, lack of goodwill on the side of the government. And with a very condescending tone to the doctors, come on you people, little children, take this and go back to work. I think we have thought deeply about this as the doctors, and this is the final solution. There should never need to be another strike after this. And that will be solved by having that CBA signed and registered. So our part, we had said, yes, let's have those doctors out. The doctors are out. So let us engage. And we are hoping this issue can be settled, even in a meeting in this afternoon. And that CBA can be signed. And the doctors can go back to work, because we are holding our patients' lives in our hands. But we are doing this so that it can be for the betterment of those patients. It can be the betterment of our whole society as a whole. So as I end, I think today's show here has shown the whole world, it has shown this country that we have one resolve. We are one people, we are not political, we are not different colors. We are standing together for the health of our nation, Kenya. I want us to give a round of applause to our CBA7. Those CBA7 have conquered my fear. That fear of jail can go aside. I will not be intimidated. We shall not be intimidated. We shall not be blackmailed. We shall fear. What else is there to fear? So as we wait for our team to arrive here, who we are going to receive with so much gladness, we know that we are ready to end this issue with the right atmosphere. In the private sector, we said 48 hours we shall close, but we had put a clause to that should there be no goodwill, the issue can be escalated. So we shall... of Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. So we are going to hold our promise. We said 48 hours. And 48 hours we shall be out. But should there be no goodwill, we are willing to issue a notice to escalate that period. So we have that 48 hours for that goodwill to be shown, for the engagement to start, and for us to get that CBA resolved. I want to end there and say, God bless our country, God bless our doctors.